if I can be seen. I wonder if I can be heard. I believe I can be seen. And I believe my video, or rather, I believe my slide can be seen. So just to be sure. Okay. I need to monitor myself to make it easier. Very well, very well. Aha, thank you. I can. So I call this my 6-year story. Now, how did I move from homelessness to success? Let me just use that. I call it my 6-year story, my amazing 6-year story. You know, Ambassador Nefo will always say, make sure you don't laugh, because there are a lot of things to laugh, to laugh about from the things I'm going to show you, because I just want to thank God that I saw the opportunity I have, this business I have. I thank God that He gave me the opportunity, because not everybody has that opportunity to see something that will help them or help their lives or help their generation. This is a generational kind of blessing. Do you understand? And what changed? I would say that it may change, but let me begin from the beginning. I'm sure that most of us, when they tell us go to school, study very hard, and all of that, and we're like, well, what did we do and all of that? But even before my first job and all of that was CME, I went to school very hard. They told me, make sure you write your exam, get a federal university, and then study some kind of courses. And hopefully, when you make like a 2-1 or a first class, you can now get a good job. We had all of that. In fact, back in the day, if you were not in medicine, if you're not in law, if you didn't study engineering, medicine, and law, you followed other people to school. As far as we're concerned, if you didn't study any of these 3 things, you just wasted 4, 5, 6 years in university, But thank God for the opportunity we have, like I said. Even before all of this, I started and life was difficult. Went to University of Ibadan, first degree, master's degree, came out, was feeling very fly. They told me that once you have a master's degree, people will be prostrating on the floor for you. You come and you are like, okay, this is the job I want. I don't want this. I don't want that. Hey, I didn't know it was a scam. When I came out, my goodness, 8 months, I've not gotten a job. Master's degree student, as a master's degree graduate. Can you imagine that? No job. And then I heard that there was this interview happening at Transport Hilton in Abuja. I dressed up, just went there. And then the lady interviewed me. And while she was interviewing me, she asked me, so how much would you like us to pay you? I looked at her and I'm like, if I say below 100,000, it will look as if I don't know what I'm doing. If I say 120 or 150,000, if I say 200,000, it will look as if I'm, I'm greedy. And I told her, between 120 and 150,000. The woman just removed her glasses and have, in a very strong British accent, looked at me and said, you must be joking. I'm like, what do you mean by I must be joking? You asked me a question and then I give you an answer. You said, you must be joking. Without experience, you want me to pay you 120,000, 150,000? My goodness, my goodness. Let's count it. 5 years, first degree, 2 years, master's degree, plus Urishirishi and other things added together, 8 years. And this woman looked me in the face and told me that you do not have experience after 8 years. I got angry. I was offended. But guess what? I was the one that needed the job. I had to swallow my pride. And she now told me, just go home. I'll get back to you. I went home. It was on a Saturday. And on a Sunday, I was in church. I got a text message. And hey, lo and behold, it was 50K. She told me, if you want it, report tomorrow at work. Otherwise, just forget about it. I said, let me be doing this one and be managing while I'm looking for something else to do. Some of you here, you've been doing something that you didn't want to do, something that is not even related to what you studied in school. You've been doing it for now 10, 15 years. You're still trying to get a job. That was what happened to me. And guess what? I started the job. And right here, you're going to see one of my sleeves. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. I started, and guess what? The lady now told me that, I don't know if my slide is moving. Okay. So, and she told me, the way you're walking, I said, yes, I have to do what I have to do. I said, no problem. And guess what? Finally, because I was a hard worker, they upgraded me by a whooping 20,000 naira. So they moved me from 50,000 to 70,000. That was when I realized that there was no difference between Chima and Chimaroki. Do you understand? Because while I was earning 50,000, I was still broke. I was earning 70,000, I was still broke. Some of you, you go and write exam, professional exam, upgrade exam, promotion exam. At the end of the day, they add 6,525 naira 50 kobo on top of your salary. My goodness. I said, this is not how we're going to do this thing. I knew instinctively that there had to be another way. And I started looking for that way. I was looking for that way, until something very, very terrible happened. I lost. But before I lost that job, I had to quickly move myself from the 70K job to now a 120,000 naira job. So excited. I was in that job when a lot of things started happening. And they fired all of us on one Friday. I won't forget that day. It was on the 27th of February, on a Friday, hot afternoon in 2015. They sacked all of us. What was the issue? That there's no more money to pay us. Without warning, without anything. Some of you, you are working on a hot coal. Some of you are sitting on top of a what do you call it? A keg of gunpowder. I was just living my life, not knowing that I will be fired next day. Some of you now, you don't know whether if you go back to your job on Monday, if you're still going to have that job. These were the things that happened, and it just kind of changed my mind. It was traumatic. And guess what? I landed myself from where I was to, it was so bad. Things were so bad that I just lost everything. Just lost everything, and my life just became very terrible. So why am I sharing my story? I'm sharing my story because the image was the singular thing that took me from homelessness, because I became homeless as a result of losing my job. I became homeless. And it's not something to glory in, but that's my story. I landed here in an uncompleted building, master's degree holder, University of Ibadan. When we were in school, we were already pontificating on the kind of places we're going to work, how much money we'll be earning, and all of that. All of that were swept under the gutter. I said, okay, let me stay here and see how I can sort out myself. And then at this point, I hadn't even met the opportunity, and I didn't even know about the image. So this was my life. I needed to emerge. What is image? Image is to move from obscurity into limelight. Image is to move from smallness into abundance. Image is to leave smallness, to leave abject poverty, and emerge. It's only God that can take someone out of the quagmire and bring the person out. Do you understand? And that was my story. Now, I may not be able to mention a lot of people's names. This is to help somebody. Maybe you're in a situation and you don't know how you're going to do it. You've lost everything. I lost nearly all my property because when I lost my accommodation, moving things around, I lost a lot of things. Maybe you are in that place in your life. You are in that place in your life where you've lost everything, as in you've lost everything. And some of you might even be contemplating suicide. There's no need to kill yourself. I'm telling you that with what we have, allow yourself to emerge. If you allow yourself to emerge, everything will change for you. All right? Imagine me staying in an uncompleted building, no light, no water, no electricity, nothing. My life was just zero. And I was living here. I thought maybe after 2 weeks, I will hustle and come out. 2 weeks turned to 2 months, 2 months to 6 months, 6 months to 1 year. I was here for 15 months, a year and 3 months. I was living here when someone showed me the opportunity, showed me the business, and told me, see, your life can change. I said, hey, leave this thing. I did here since. Even my confidence had gone low. Sometimes you will suffer and suffer. The thing will now, rechange, and there's a calibration that goes in your mind that will just be disorientated. Even the confidence to come out as a man and talk. I lost everything, including that was the situation I met myself. And guess what happened? I was here, I saw the opportunity, and the person told me, I want you to see what I'm showing you, but much more than that, I need you to emerge. And this person informed me about the Emerge conference happening then in 2016. See, these are the pictures of where I stayed. You can see how beautiful the place. There are bushes all around the house. Because there's no water or light. When the sun is shining, the window must be open. Otherwise, you can actually choke and die because it's very humid. If it's raining, rain also comes inside because you must open the window. You can stay here without the window being open. So mosquitoes came freely at night. I had rats. These were the people. These guys. This has been the lowest point, but I was able to manage out of this place. That's why I want to challenge you. I want to encourage you that you can emerge. This is my story. I know you're also going to hear stories from other amazing personalities here this night. This is my story. And I use my story to encourage. Be you a man or a woman. I don't care what you're going through right now. I don't care if everybody has abandoned you. Just emerge. In 2016, I kicked off, connected into the Connected Revolution. I joined Connected Revolution, even though I was afraid. I did it afraid. However, there was a difference. Now look at this. If you look at me, we used to package. You can see quotes. This is quotes. I don't know if you guys can see this. We used to wear coats. You see Ambassador Nefo there, Dr. Victor Balsen. We just arrange ourselves, get a tie, wear it so that we can look, presentable. Look at that. We're doing what we're doing. Remember when we had this thing? You can see Ambassador Kelechi. If you look at the picture, the only thing you can see is his head. You understand? You see just head. Why? We hadn't emerged at this point. Hadn't emerged. But something happened. Something changed it for me. Something changed it for me. And what changed it? Event happened. The emerge of 2016 happened. And guess what? After that emerge, I became a new. I was transformed. That was how the international trip started happening. Between 2018 and all my life up until 2018, I haven't gone to any country. I was a local citizen. Or a Rinjesha waterfalls, or see hot and cool spring, that kind of place, Hanging Lake in your state, or the rock at Ogun State, all of those things. But between 2018 and this year, just 4 years, in a space of 4 years, I'd already traveled to 11 countries and counting. 11. Why? Because I emerged. I remember using my legs. I used to trek. Legs were my best friends because sometimes 1 hour, 30 minutes, we are still trekking. Sometimes you are trekking, the rain will beat you. After the rain beats you, the sun will dry you. People will never know that you were going under the rain. The rain and the sun beat you together. But guess what? We'll continue doing what we're doing. Because I've emerged, because I am now someone who has emerged. This is where we are today. Do you understand? Cruise around town with, to the glory of God Almighty, who has given us an opportunity, and we utilize it and we emerged. Why am I saying this? I'm going to close in the next 3 minutes. This was me in, these Joburg places that ordinarily, who would have taken me to SA? Would have taken me to South Africa? Team and my leaders, life became different. Traveling the world, having fun, enjoying ourselves because we finally emerged. Sometimes some of you promise your wife heaven and earth. I will take you to this place. I will take you to that place. Don't worry, I will buy you this. I will buy you that. 10 years, you will not taking her to anywhere. Is that not a scam? Is that not a scam? It's a scam. Allow yourself to emerge. So the things that happened, we merged, we traveled the world, everything became awesome. Why? Allowed us to plug in. And once we plugged in, we were able to emerge. So the emerge is a transformation. The human being involved is still the same person, but everything changes around you. It's metamorphosis. You transform yourself. You understand? Everything changes. Everything changes. I said I've been to about 11 countries. I've been to 11 countries, really. Nothing. And when you look at it, these are countries that have been to Turkey, Jordan, Ethiopia, South Africa, Seychelles, Mauritius, UAE, Philippines, Qatar, Ghana, Kenya. And this year, the year hasn't ended, my friends. The yacht, I've done parasailing, flew around town in a chopper. I was just ticking off my bucket list. I'm not involving a lot of people because I have very limited time. And this is a story of somebody who was at the lowest rung of the society. So if you are like me, not everybody has the rag to riches story, but this is to come and also push you to know that image can change things for you. All right. We have this cruise ship, the biggest ship in the world, where we'll be on this cruise ship early next year. Me and my wife, it's changing. This was Kenya. It was, I told people that love cannot, see, love without money is frustration. Love without money is frustration. You need to add money to it. Do you understand? So you can see the life of a man who has emerged. You can see the life of somebody. God can use you better if you. I leave you with this, my friends. Everything you're looking for, God has packaged it for you. The problem is some of you are saying this image conflict. 15,000 naira cannot give you what you're going to see there. But what of this is actually 50,000? If I tell you what you're going to gain from attending the conference, the what is actually 50,000 naira.